Rajat. Oh God, I forgot the lyrics.
Hello and namaste to everyone who's listening to us. My name is Anusha Maharjan and this is Conversations with my UGRAD friend. And today here with us we have our global UGRAD alumni Kusha Gurung for the year 2020. Welcome Kusha. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hello, Anusha. Thank you so much.
Okay, first things first, I have to ask this question to you. You were a global UGRAD alumni exchange student in US for the year 2020, right? And we all know what happened in the year 2020. There was this massive pandemic, and as far as I understand, you were in the middle of your exchange semester when this happened. I think it was around March of 2020. So tell us a little bit about your experience through the pandemic itself. What are the good things that came out of the pandemic? What were the bad things that happened to you? Or, even despite these good or bad things, how do you move forward today having to, kind of experience that? How do you move forward with us with that? Please tell us a little bit about that, Kusha.
Well, that was so unfortunate that we were in the middle of pandemic. And it was like our exchange year 2019-20, and so our classes the 2 months were like all in-person classes, so we were unaware about pandemic and all. And after 2 months, they were like all over the world, so pandemic and all, so people started uh, you know like um there was kind of like frustration among people, and then all the classes went online. So one of the major thing was like we were staying in the dorm, and the university, they kicked all the American student from the door. So that was like so a kind of like bad experience. And so for me, we were like almost I think like 20 people staying in the dorm, and it was like so empty. There were no people to interact with and to talk with. So that was like kind of like a bad thing that happened because of the pandemic. And at the same time, like we couldn't go out of the states to visit different places, to experience all those things in the United States. And so that was like a kind of like a bad thing that happened to us due to the pandemic. Like we couldn't explore more.
Yeah, I completely resonate with what you're saying. One of the worst experience that I myself had was having that so little interaction that we had with people, right? That was really worse for all of us. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing. And the other thing was I was just looking at some of the videos just past yesterday, and I kind of saw one of your video for the end of summit program in global UGRAD alumni exchange program, right? And I saw that you sang a beautiful song. You were dressed so perfectly in your cultural dress, and everything about that was so breathtaking. So, what was your thought process about choosing that song in particular? And what do you think is the importance of, representing your country in the end of summit program in global UGRAD exchange semester? Why do you think it's important to kind of like represent your country in that platform where you have like around, I think, more than 180 students from all over the world in that place? What's the importance of representing you as a Nepali student and as a country Nepal? Can you tell us a little bit?
Okay, well, I must share one thing. That song actually was chosen by my friend Anusha. Okay, because like I was like so much unaware about what to do actually in that platform. And like I love singing, and so this is like kind of like my hobby. And I was like so much, like confused what to do or what to sing or whatever. So I was like pretty sure I will be singing because that is what I can show as a talent. And but I was like unsure about what song should I choose to sing. So I asked to my friend Anusha. She is the one who like suggested me to sing this song, and talking about the representation of the country, because like we know that there are more than like 180 students from like more than 60 different countries. So every country, so all the students from all around the world, like they have their own culture, they have their own tradition, and it's kind of like end of summit program. It's kind of like your choice at the same time, because like it's not compulsory that you have to show your talent or you have to represent your country, because since we are gathering from different places, somehow like we are representing our country, right? So yeah, and I think it's and at the same time we know that how unique Nepal is, talking about its culture, talking about its geography and all. And I think it's important, because that is what we are for. That is what we went for, I guess.
True. Yeah. You sang beautifully, and I was a super fan of yours. And I know this is not uncalled for, but can you sing us a line from what you sang back then in the virtual end of summit program? Just a line is okay, if you're up for it, of course.
Okay, so you mean the like same song that I sang in the
Yes,
end of summit
yes,
program?
yes. It can be
Okay.
just one line if you're too uncomfortable with that, but just one line is okay. The same song that you sang there.
Okay, perfect. I will try my best. Okay. सयथरी बाजायो त्यही ताल, सयथरी घुरायो त्यही चाल, मेची काले सिङ्गे ढेको एउटै साज. I will sing only that line because Talag gets.
That
I'm
was
so
so good. That was so good, Kusha. Thank you so much for this an uncalled request from my side. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Anusha.
Okay, talking a little bit about traveling abroad. I know it's a really difficult thing to do. Traveling thousands of miles away from your home. You're away from your parents and friends. It's a completely new geography. It's a completely new language. It's a completely new culture, and you're meeting new people all the time. And in US, you might have new roommates as well. So, how did you cope up with that, changing things that happened for you? How did you cope up with that from this ever evolving thing? I mean, you must have some sort of cultural shock when you first went to US as an exchange student. So how did you cope up with all of these things?
Well, I think it's very important for you to like explore or research a bit before you go to the new place. So for me, definitely my roommates, all of them were American. So I had like three roommates, and all of them were American, and it's kind of like we had different classes. So though like I had three roommates, so our room was different. Only we used to share washroom. That was only the different thing. Or otherwise, like we had like different rooms. So I only used to like see my roommates, like it's just sometimes, not frequently. So, and I had like very small time to interact with them, like though I was like very excited to interact with them. And kind of like my roommates, they had their own life, and me, like I also like used to have a lot of classes, and I used to have like very little time to interact with all those people, whether like it's your roommate or a classmate. So I must say, I didn't have that kind of like interaction which I was like supposed to. Maybe like all of them, they had their like own life. You know, they had like they were busy. They had like busy schedule with all those classes and all. So I must say that because of the different compartment, because of the different single room we were staying, we were only sharing the bathroom. Maybe that was the reason why I didn't get enough time to interact with them, and this is sad. But yeah, I have a very good friend of mine. She is my roommate. Her name is Anna, and she is a very good girl, and I still talk with her. Yeah, my social
That
media.
that's so nice. I mean, that's the part of exchange program, right? You make friends for life, for so many long years that you become best of friends. And even though if you don't see them, occasionally, but you know that they're always there for you. Thank you for that. As soon as I came back home, Nepal, after my exchange program in itself, I sat myself down in a room and I kind of scrolled all the pictures, all the photos and videos that I had, all of them that I've collected in the US. I don't know why I did that, maybe reliving all those moments, I think, right? So,
Yeah.
if you had a second chance to become a global UGRAD student one more time and go back into US and do that thing all over again, what are a few things that you would go back and do it again? Or what are a few things that you would undo it? Maybe some embarrassing moments that you would undo. Tell us a little bit about this as well.
Okay, so one thing that I must say is, please do not take heavy course load. Like difficult courses, which will take your time, which will take your sleep away, which will take your enjoyment away, everything. So what I would suggest is, the one thing that I really missed, or the one thing that I would like to do once again, if I get the second chance to be a global U grad program, is I would explore more, because I was only like you know I was only staying in one state, that is that only one city, that is St. Louis, and I like didn't get the chance to like explore other states. And so I have seen like all the global U graduates, like who went to New York, who went to all the different states, and they enjoyed a lot. But I think like we were the one, and so it's kind of like unfortunately there was like pandemic and all. That is the reason why we didn't got the chance to go out of the states. But the one thing that I really missed is exploring the United States, like visiting different so we know that United States has 50 states, and there are lots of good places to explore. So I would do that definitely.
Kusha, let's talk a little bit more about the application tips in itself. And, every people have their own stories to share. Everyone has that. And if someone says that they don't have any stories to share, I think they're either lying or they're not looking deep within themselves to find those stories. So, you as a global UGrad alumni, what kind of stories do you think that applicants can write in their SOP or can write in their application in general? What kind of things that they can actually share in their application?
So the first thing what I would like to suggest for the applicant who are interested in the global grad program, the first thing is they must be genuine. And yeah, like you said, everyone they have their story to share. So yeah, you must be like genuine from your side. And the next thing is, the global U grad program, it's all about leadership. So it's very important to have like some kind of leadership quality in you. So that doesn't mean like you must be perfect, in everything. You must have all those like very good academics. You must be like a great achiever, something like that. That's not necessary. But the two things that I would like to suggest is, you should have like you must be genuine, and the second thing is, you must have some kind of leadership potential.
Awesome tips given by you, Kusha, and I completely agree with you. You have to be your authentic self. If you're applying as an applicant itself, don't show that, someone that you are not. just show who you are. And I think it would be good to go. The next question that I definitely would want to ask is, what was the most difficult part of the application process for you, Kusha?
Uh, well, I think I like the difficult part was I don't know what to say in this because yeah, definitely the one of the most important thing is your SOP, right? It's not SOP, it's your application ASAP. That is generally what it says, right? So I think that is one of the most difficult, at the same time most interesting part of your application. So we are like adding details about our like address, about our personal like things. So the most important part is the application essay itself. So because it shows who you are, and so that is the main part which decide whether you are going to be selected or not for this program. So yeah, definitely it's difficult because you have to start writing a month ahead if you want to write a very good application essay. And yes, that was definitely like the difficult part.
So, did you write a month ahead of when you were applying to the Global UGRAD program? Tell us, what was your timeline like? Maybe a routine? What was it like that you can share to someone who's listening to us that can take inspiration from you?
Yeah, like I started writing my application essay a month ahead, I must say, because it's a global UGRAD program where you will be selected from all those, like it's a very competitive program. So there will be like participants, applicants from all like different background. There will be applicants from a law background, from business background, from science background, from all the different backgrounds, and it's a very competitive program. So it's very important and necessary at the same time to start your application a month ahead, especially to writing your application essay. So since like it's you will be selected based on your application essay. And yeah, the tips would be like don't plagiarize, one of the most important thing. So if you like if you they found you like if they find that you have plagiarized your application essay, then definitely that's not going to be a good thing for you, because you will be expelled from the program itself. So whatever you write, just write a genuine thing, uh, just be yourself, be who you are. That is what going to make you different, like make you different from all those crowd, and stand like stand alone from all those crowd. So
Awesome,
that is what.
awesome, awesome tips, awesome tips. Hard work, be who you are, don't plagiarize. Yes, this is like everything that you need for, right? For me, honestly, one of the most difficult part for me was the interview itself. I was sitting in a room with around 4 to 5 people there, asking me all sorts of questions. I was really nervous. I was breaking a cold sweat, and my lips were all dried up, and they were asking me a lot of questions. And I think at one point I even asked them, the selection committee itself, like, can I speak in Nepali? Because I thought that whatever I was speaking in English, I wasn't making sense at all. And the selection committee said, calm down, you're doing really great. For me, interview section was really, really hard. How was it for you? What were the steps that you took to prepare for interview? And if someone, a global UGRAD applicant, is selected for the interview round, how can they prepare for it? Tell us something about that.
um, to be honest with you, Anusha, I was like completely unprepared for that interview actually. So, and because I was so shocked when I got selected for this program, because these things were like so unexpected for me. Um, I like somewhat watched the video about leadership because I was pretty sure that I will be asked this question in my interview round, right? So because global UGRAD program is all about your leadership quality. So I was 100% sure that I will be asked this question during my interview round. So I watched the video about leadership skills, and fortunately, they asked the same question to me about leadership, and I gave the perfect answer, I guess, because I was so much prepared about this question. And the next thing was they will definitely ask you about what you wrote in your application essay.
Mhm.
So you must be very, that is the reason why you must not plagiarize the things that you are going to write in your application essay, because it's 100% sure that, because that is the reason why they selected you, because you stand out from all those crowd because of your application essay. And like so I will share one question that they asked me, and I wrote about my future plan, because you know that I am from a microbiology background, and I was like interested in waste management. And in my application essay I talked about, I'm like very much interested in waste management of our country, because you know how polluted our country is because of all those solid and liquid waste. So I wrote about these things, and the interviewer, he asked me about that part. And well, yes, because I was prepared and I answered that question well. So maybe like, yeah, it's all about your preparation, and it's all about what you write in your application is, and that like really matters.
True. Thank you so much, Kusha, for sharing that awesome tips once again. And I think a lot of people would benefit to the answer of this question that I'm about to say to you. I mean, there's so many people who've asked me these two things. They're like one group of people who say, I am really good at my extracurricular activities. I'm great at sports. I'm the captain of my football team, or I have been serving in a certain position in a non-governmental organization, or I have a project that I'm leading. I have all these extracurricular activities on my belt. Should I, as an applicant, write all of this down in my application and show that I'm one of the best applicants ever? One group has asked this question, and the other group, who are somewhat not so much experienced, they don't have that much experience outside of their academic atmosphere. And do they write that they are a little bit inexperienced in different volunteering activities or social work activities, but they are good at their studies? Should they write, I want to learn more from the global UGRAD experience itself, even though I don't have a lot of extracurricular activities? So, there's this two sides of discussion. So, what should an aspiring applicant write? Should they write they're great at extracurricular activities, leadership, as you said before, or should they say that I lack these, but I really want to go ahead and learn through the exchange program itself? What do you say on this?
So that's a very good question, Anusha. So what I would like to suggest is, if you want to apply for international program, so it's very important that you need to have some kind of experience based on extracurricular activities or your leadership, like everything, right? So those people who have their leadership skills, who says that they are the captain of the football team, or they have some kind of like volunteer experience, so this is like extra point for you. So if you have this kind of experience, um it's extra point for you, and they might select you based on your experience, past experience, right? And those who lack this kind of experience, uh I'm not going to say don't apply if you do not have this kind of experience. That's not fair, right? So please, yeah, do apply, but make sure that, like, since you know how they select applicants, right, based on their experience and based on their skills they have, so you have time to build up your skills, right? So start from now. Start searching for voluntary experience. Start searching for leadership skills, because when they are selecting applicants, they will definitely, like, compare you based on your experience and based on your academics, right? And if one of the applicants who has very good leadership skill, who has very good volunteer experience, who have very good academics, who have very good skills, definitely he or she has more chances of getting selected. So those of you who lack this kind of experience, please start searching for, because there are lots of, if you try, you'll definitely get the result, right? So there are lots of like voluntary experience. You can do very good things from the side. So just try. Just don't stay backward saying that I like this kind of experience. So the thing is, like, you must try and start doing that from today, because Global UGAD program opens every year. So if you start collecting all those experience from now, you'll be benefited by those experience later on.
I don't have to add anything to whatever you said. I think you sum it up perfectly. And yes, I hope every tips that Kusha had just given us right now might be helpful to whoever is listening or thinking of applying to the Global UGRAD program. The deadline for the Global UGRAD program here in Nepal is in January 6th. So yes, the deadline is approaching really, really fast. And I think it is just around that time for the global applicants as well. So I hope whatever that we've discussed today might be helpful for you. And thank you so much, Kusha, for being here today and sharing all of these awesome tips, awesome tricks, and your experience about your Global UGRAD exchange program. Yes, I think the conversation today is nearing to an end. Kusha, do you have anything to share to someone who's listening or people who might think they want to apply to the program? Anything at all, please.
The one thing that I would like to add is Fulbright. It's a very great, very big achievement. It's a very great program because we have Fulbright scholars who are Nobel Prize winners, who are social worker. So they have who are politicians, right? So like they have their great place. So what I would like to suggest is it's a tough competition, honestly,
Yeah.
and it's becoming more, like, like tough in the
Tougher and
upcoming
tougher,
days,
right?
and
Yeah,
it will
yeah.
be, yeah, exactly. So what I would say is prepare yourself, because they will select only the undergraduate student. So once you graduate, so you are not eligible to apply for this program. So start from your first year, start from your first semester, or start from your, like from early age, I'd say. So start collecting experiences, volunteering experiences, start preparing yourself, not from the day you start your application, but before that. So if you're applying for your Global UGAD program next year, or after 2 years or 3 years, start preparing from today. So start collecting all those volunteering experience, leadership skills, and then I think you will be a competitive and great candidate for this program.
Thank you so much, Kusha, for being here today and for your time. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, Anusha. You're most
Cheers.
welcome.